All right, so first story of today is going to be CVS. So CVS plans to close 900 stores. Now, I probably think I know what you're thinking about. Oh, of course, CVS, a retail pharmacy, retail stores closing out because e-commerce is the way. It's the new thing. Everyone's going to be shopping online. Well, yes and no. I mean, they're not the only ones closing. There are other retail brands closing, but there's also a lot of retail brands opening a lot of stores in metropolitan areas, which makes sense because a lot of foot traffic and branding and whatnot. But let's kind of explore why this is happening. And I want to talk about the importance of pivoting. So CVS plans to close 90 stores over the next 3 years, right? That's what they announced in a press release on Thursday or last Thursday. And they're about to close 300 stores per year starting in spring 2022. And that's because they're seeing a change in their consumer buying patterns. So I think as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, when you see things in your business, I think you have to make a pivot. You see the analysis, you see the data, and from that data, from that intuitive feel that you get over the years, I think you have to make these decisions for the better of your business, right? So let's kind of dive in here. Um, so going forward, the retailer said it was focused on three store models: sites centered on primary care services, enhanced health hub locations, dedicated to everyday health products and services, and traditional pharmacy stores. So CVS is really honing down on the health sort of model and not just selling like everyday goods and whatnot, right? There's a lot of competitors in that space. So as of September 30th, again, CVS has more than 9,900 retail stores as well as 1,200 walk-in medical clinics. And I think they're really gravitating towards that method or ideology of going into more health than selling everyday products, right? Saunders, a statement from CVS noted that CVS has lost share in beauty and personal care to other retailers such as Target, Walmart, Ulta, Sephora, and others. He described CVS's retail stores as are shabby and stuck in the past with bad lighting, depressing interiors, messy merchandising, and a weak assortment of products. Now, he's being real with everyone. Because you own a business, because you're working in a business, you can't just gas yourself up. I think you have to be real and focus on your strengths and whatnot. And maybe CVS is seeing a different angle from everyone else, and they're pushing the boundaries to that one angle that they're seeing in terms of health, right? So that's one thing with CVS. I think it's really cool what they're saying, what they're doing, and maybe they can make a really strong pivot and be market leader and sort of fast health and gravitating towards, health locations and offering people these services, right? Um, so second story of the day is going to be regarding Walmart. Walmart has been literally in the past couple of years, ever since the pandemic, on everyone's radar because they're really trying to compete with Amazon in terms of e-commerce. There's kind of a cool war going on between Walmart and Amazon because at Amazon they're the king of e-commerce, while as Walmart they have so many physical locations that people have. I think there's like a stat that everyone in the United States lives within, I think, 13 or 30 minutes within a Walmart. Even if it's 30 minutes, that's crazy. Like the United States is a massive country, and for the average ride to be 30 minutes within a Walmart for every U.S. citizen is just crazy. So they definitely have a lot of customers too, and they're really trying to get that e-commerce side of things, right? So saying right here on CNBC, Walmart looks to grab consumers' attention with star-studded online shopping events. And I've been saying this so many times that live stream shopping is going to be huge in the United States. It's huge right now in China, in Asia, and we're seeing that these brands are really experimenting and going all in with this, especially Walmart. And listen to this. Listen to this. Walmart is adding another tool to its arsenal this holiday season to drum up online sales. More than 30 live streaming events, including one with musician Jason Derulo that kicks off Cyber Week. And Jason Derulo and like TikTok and Walmart, they've been going hand in hand. Whenever I go on TikTok, I always see Jason Derulo and whatnot in Walmart. But that's crazy. 30 live streaming events. Like they're really going in on this. And this is not new in terms of live streaming. Again, it's been really used in China. But in terms of the United States, it's very new and they're going all in and they might have that really cool fast movers advantage, right? That's very important. So on a 2-year basis, its U.S. e-commerce growth is large. However, that 8%, so they've grown 8% in the third quarter. But the things that you have to keep in mind that Walmart just kind of started with e-commerce. They just made like their own e-commerce website not too long ago, um, but their e-commerce is kind of on the rise. However, it hasn't been profitable for Walmart. However, it is competing for sales with Amazon, and Amazon is just a monster. But it's a good track. It's a good thing that Walmart is doing because you don't want to be left behind. You need an online shopping strategy, especially for Walmart if you're that big of a brand. So again, what I kind of reiterated, live streaming has become a sales driver for retailers in China, where it has been popularized by Alibaba. In the US, however, retailers from Macy's, Bloomingdale's to Petco have been trying to crack the code and turn the event into a more meaningful part of their businesses. Amazon has a rotating slate of QVC like events on its website at nearly all hours of the day. So we are seeing that these big brands, not just Walmart, are kind of channeling their focuses on live stream shopping. Listen to this. In the US, the live streaming market was worth $6 billion last year, according to the consumer market research group Corset Research. It expects the market could eclipse $25 billion by 2023. If you're an e-commerce entrepreneur, this might be kind of changing some gears, shifting some gears, because who knows, you might want to get some influencers down the line to do live streaming shopping experiences or live stream shopping for your brand. Who knows, right? There can be one idea where you and 10 other brands kind of partner up, get a crazy influencer to live stream shop your products. So, for example, like say you get like a Jason Derulo or a Charlie D'Amelio for a 30-minute segment to review 30 products and within across 20 brands, for example. One brand to do that for one influencer might be a lot of money, but if you kind of split it between 30 brands, hey, that's not a bad idea, right? That's one idea that's kind of came off the dome, but it's kind of cool what Walmart is doing. Really, 30 live streaming events. They're really pushing the boundaries, in my opinion, and that's really cool. Excuse me. And speaking about Walmart, again, I mentioned that they're going to be on 30 live streaming platforms, but this also includes Twitter. And again, we're seeing all of these social media platforms trying to get a piece of the pie in terms of e-commerce, right? So, for example, we see Instagram and Facebook with live stream shopping. We're seeing TikTok partner up with Walmart and Shopify. Pinterest is finally gravitating towards like paid ads and hunting down on its own e-commerce. Snapchat investing in AR and VR technology because they want to enhance the shopping experience by, when the consumer sees a product in their hand, when they go to a store, it really incentivizes them to buy it or not, right? Compared to going on a website and seeing just static pictures. But if you see an augmented reality sort of product in your hand or in your room, that makes the buying experience a lot better. And that's what Snapchat is doing. Now, Twitter has a new live stream shopping platform, and Walmart is going to be experimenting with that. Again, starting on November 28th, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Walmart will partner up with Jason Derulo for their live cyber deal. That's just crazy. That's unheard of, at least in the US. And they've been partnering up with a lot of big brands, like I mentioned. And I'm telling you, all these other social media platforms are doing this as well. They're jumping in this opportunity of e-commerce. So that's really cool. Another cool story that I want to share with you is from TechCrunch. Food tech company Amada gobbles up $12 million for its nutrient-dense infant products. Now, this may sound random, but I kind of want to go over the fact of finding a problem. I think that when you kind of create a business, either you create something that solves a problem or you kind of create a product or a service that's much better from the competition, or you kind of create a product that's really new, no one else is doing it, and you kind of have your own blue ocean, right? So with Amada, they're kind of making baby food, and one of the problems, of course, I think this article is kind of gassing it up, but I want to go over the raw concept. So the concept is, according to this article in TechCrunch, that in February, parents received a shock when a report from the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Reform showed that some commercial baby foods were found to contain dangerous levels of toxic metals. So if you're a parent and you kind of see this report, you're going to be like, whoa, I don't want to feed my baby like any toxic materials, any toxic metals and whatnot. So Amada is like it's a startup to kind of solve that problem by creating a product line of baby food that's like very rich, nutrient dense, and complementary for your child, right? They're solving this problem to minimize the harm, to maximize the nutrition base of the foods for your baby, right? And I think down here in the article, they kind of mentioned that like studies show that the food that you eat from 0 to 7 years old impacts the way you think, feel, and perform later on in life, right? You are what you eat might be a cliche, but studies show that it is true, and parents are paying attention. Again, this is very important too because consumers are very smart. You know, they can tell if you kind of drop shipping. They can tell if you have like a crappy website. Consumers are very smart. They're reading the labels. They're catching on, and these brands ought to know that. And so maybe this brand, this whole idea of knowing what the problem is, solving it, and being aware that your consumers are very knowledgeable in the space as well is very important. So that concludes everything. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and until the next time.